Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failure, and we jump right in. Go ahead and click Not Right Now. And the first thing we're going to do, you can push Tab to turn the scoreboard on and off. I'll just show you. Here I am at the very bottom, brand new game, GTA Failure, no cash, no altitude, a lowly 0-ranked cadet. Hit Tab to make that disappear. We've got no cash here, no fuel in our backpack, no gems, no nothing. So the first thing we're going to do is pan the camera. You do that by holding the right mouse button and moving the mouse. And what I'm looking for is a moon sitting just off of this platform that I'm spinning around here. And so we go all the way around, and there it is. And we're going to walk that way. The movement keys are WASD, and the jump key is spacebar. You can double jump by hitting spacebar twice. And let's head over to the moon. And what we're really interested in is this scoreboard looking thing over here on the left that says islands. So if we scroll down, you can see that we're sitting here on Launchpad Island at an altitude of 0. And if you scroll down further, and there's no reason to, we find an Easter egg. Hello, thanks for playing. Click me for a free gift of 250 gems. Just like that, gem rich, everything else poor. Okay, we are going to head to any of the open pads. The open pads are the ones with the yellow disc in front of them. So you can follow the arrows, which will guide you to one, or you can take any other one. And let's head right back here to this purple transport thingy. We're currently in Dimension 1, which is called Moonlings. We will come back many hours from now, but we're going to play most of this game in Dimension 2, the Zenith. Click go, and let's jump to Dimension 2. So like I mentioned in the introduction, this game can be very grind heavy. I think the default strategy for most players is to just spend the vast majority of their time grinding for fuel. It's very dull. It's very monotonous. Occasionally, I'm just walking to the yellow disc. Occasionally, you get to upgrade your equipment. Occasionally, you get to upgrade your rocket. But even less occasionally than that, you get to play fun mini games up above us. So the first thing we need to do is actually start grinding for fuel. But this will be the one and only time that this is required for us in our playthrough. So if you push the number 1, you can see right here this kind of funny looking shape. That pulls out your fuel scooper. Pushing 1 again puts it away. And what I want to do is just left click on any of these black hexagons here. And you can see these plus 10 fuels. And our backpack has a capacity of 100, and it's going to fill up momentarily. And as soon as it's full, the game yells at you, says, hey, your backpack is full. So let's go ahead and bring this fuel right over here to our fuel storage. You can see your name sitting right up there in front of your pad. So you walk on this yellow thing, and all the fuel leaves the backpack and goes into fuel storage. What we really want to do is put that fuel into the rocket, but you can't if you're holding the fuel scooper. So push 1 to put that away, and then we'll push this 100 here. And now we have no fuel in storage and all 100 fuel in the rocket. And then on the opposite side of our pad, we're going to hold down E to launch our rocket. And then we're going to walk right over here, hop into our seat for our inaugural flight. This is going to be epic. Oh, I can just feel the G-forces. Man, this is a thrill a minute. Okay, so our speed is 10, which is the lowest possible speed. We had 100 fuel. It's petering out to 0. Altitude 113. What we need to do is get up to an altitude of 20,000. So we were a little bit shy this time, and that's where we left from. So spacebar. We'll jump you down. There's no fall damage, so just hop on down. Okay, but the point of that flight was that we made $113. It's right over here as well, and we're going to start spending that money. So let's begin by heading to that yellow sign, the Fuel Scoop Shop. So hopping over here into the yellow sign. Currently, we have the D2 Basic Fuel Scooper, which gives us 10 fuel every 1 second. We're going to now buy, for $50, the Firefly Fuel Scoop, which gives us 10 fuel every half a second, or 20 fuel per second. So let's buy it. It's automatically equipped. Here it is. Looks a little bit different. And let's go ahead and also buy a new backpack. So the current backpack has a capacity of 100. And we're going to upgrade that right away to this backpack with capacity 185 for $50. And now we're down to $13, but we have a better backpack and a better fuel scooper. And it's time to use both of those items. So here, just holding the left mouse button, the fuel going in twice as fast, the book bag almost twice as big in terms of capacity. And now we're full. Now you could walk back to your pad. It's over here. We're just going to hit teleport to pad, which zips us right by our fuel storage. Okay, now we're going to do another launch. So we put away our scooper. We're going to do another launch with 100 fuel. And you can see we still have 85 here. 100 fuel in the rocket. Well, the rocket is actually still right there. So we need to bring it back. Notice that the rocket does not succumb to gravity, but we do. As soon as we hopped off the rocket, we fell straight down. So now the rocket is here and it's got 100 fuel and we're going to launch it. So this time I'll show you, let's see, so we'll actually watch it from afar this time. And you don't need to spend any of this time actually watching your rocket. If you really want to be efficient with your time, you run back over and start grinding fuel while this little rocket is doing its thing. But I will point out that we can click board rocket now, even when it's moving, or in a few moments when it's stopped. So there it goes, another 113 bucks. I'll click board rocket. And now here we are right up here. And this is going to be a really important mechanic for us, is being able to board the rocket when it's way up in space. You could jump off or you could click teleport to pad. So here we are again. And now it's time for more fuel. So what's the idea? Well, the idea is we're trying to grind our way to a rocket that is worth, oh, we should spend our money here. So I'll just fill this thing up and then we're going to upgrade our rocket. Okay, so that one's full. I'll head over here to the blue rocket shop. And there's lots of statistics kind of covered. Sorry about that. Anyway, we want to buy the $100 rocket here. It's better, faster, generates more cash for us per unit of fuel. And that's kind of the idea. Is we're just kind of grinding for cash, really. Not so much fuel, but cash at this moment. Okay, so the next flight that we're going to do is a flight of 700. In fact, we're going to do 3 flights of 700, and all of these numbers that I'm sharing are in the description to this video below. So, check them out just as a reference, though. I'm going to give a lot more information in the video itself, but if you miss any of the numbers, the plan is written out down below. So the basic idea here is that we are just going to grind and then launch and then buy something with the money that we just earned, and then repeat, grind for fuel, launch, and then buy an upgrade. And all of this, grinding this whole process, is with the intention of being able to afford the $15,000 rocket and then getting enough fuel that will launch us all the way to the top of this dimension 2. So that's the point of this particular video in the video series. And the numbers that I've come up with, where we did 2 launches at 100 fuel and we're about to do 3 launches at 700 fuel, was my way of pretty much coming up with like bare minimum, what's the least amount of fuel that we need in order to fund our next upgrade. And these are the numbers that I came up with. Okay, so let's put 700 this time. So we'll click the 100 twice and then the 500 once. And even though it looks like our rocket is here because we just bought that one, technically the game still thinks it's up there, even though we can't see it. And so you have to reset to kind of get the program back in line with reality. And then we'll launch it. You can watch it if you want. I'm just heading back for more fuel. So this launch is going to take longer because it's got 700 fuel instead of the 100 fuel launches that we did. But it's going to make us a heck of a lot more money, and it's going to allow us to afford the next upgrade. And so as we upgrade, we're always going to upgrade our 3 things in exactly the same order. We're going to first upgrade the fuel scooper, which will allow us to gather fuel more quickly. Then we're going to upgrade the backpack, which will allow us to have a larger capacity every time we collect fuel. And then we're going to upgrade the rocket, which will allow us to collect more money quickly for the same amount of fuel. And this, like I mentioned, is the one and only required grind according to my strategy. And it's going to be kind of annoying. It's this whole video here, but it is what it is. Okay, so I see that my flight is about to end, so we're going to head right over to the fuel scooper. So we had that one in the beginning, we bought this one, and now we just made $1,580. We're going to spend almost all of it on the Cave of Eye fuel scoop. And then we head right over here and equip our new fuel scooper. And you can see that it fills the backpack even quicker. Teleport to pad, looking for 700, almost have it. Let's make another trip here. As soon as we have 700, we're going to launch. And for the most part, our strategy here involves 3 launches at each fuel amount. So we're doing 3 700s, and then the next one I think is 2,000 fuel. We're going to do 3 2,000 launches, 3 5,000 fuel launches, and then 1 final big launch. So let's put another 700. And again, all these numbers are in the description to this video below. We'll reset the rocket. We'll launch the rocket. And then we'll head back out for more fuel collecting. And like I mentioned in the intro, I think that most gamers spend an inordinate amount of their time playing this game doing what we're doing, but they're not doing it as well as we're doing it. Like I said, I think that this is a pretty efficient way where we're just barely getting enough cash to upgrade every time. And also, I'll point out here that one of the goals of this playthrough is to reach the maximum rank. And right now we're rank 0, we're a cadet, and the maximum rank is 13. And a programming decision that the programmers made when they made this game was that anytime you rank up, your anything that you bought with cash disappears, is completely taken away. Right now I'm heading to the backpack shop to spend that money. And so that means that, in essence, every bit of cash that you generate and then spend disappears as soon as you rank up. Let me do our next launch. I think we had enough fuel for our next 700 fuel launch. And so because just about everything here disappears right away, our strategy involves not buying this stuff very much or very often. You could spend dozens of hours just, equipping and upgrading and all that stuff, and it's all for naught as soon as you rank up. And so we're trying to minimize that kind of grind. Okay, and here we've got our bigger capacity backpack. Now we're up to 350, and we're on our third and final 700 fuel launch. And as usual, we fill up, we teleport to pad, we drop it off, and we head back out for more fuel. And pretty soon I'm going to start pausing the video here. You don't need to sit there and watch me grind for fuel, but I'll just wait for this launch to end because that will give us the cash for the next rocket purchase we're going to make. All right, already over 720. Okay, so let's head right into the rocket shop as this launch ends. And we're going to spend $1,500 right here on this rocket. Okay. Next up is 3 launches with 2,000 fuel each. And so I'm going to pause the video here as I continue grinding for fuel. And as soon as I have at least 2,000, I will come back with the video. If you want, you could, I guess, gather 6,000 fuel straight away because we're doing 2,000 fuel launches. So you could gather 6,000 fuel, but it's more efficient, I think, to do the launches one at a time because then you can immediately start spending the cash and upgrading the equipment, the scooper and the backpack. So 2,000 fuel launches. I will be back as soon as I have 2,000 units of fuel. Okay, and we're back, and we're going to deposit fuel and get just over 2,000. So we put this away. We hit the 1,000 fuel twice. And again, even though it looks like the rocket is there, this is the brand new one that we just bought. We need to reset the old one and then launch the new one. And then we head back out. Now, these flights are going to take longer and longer because they're launching with more fuel. So I will pause the video and come back as soon as this launch ends. Okay, so I've been diligently collecting fuel while that launch was going, and we're making progress towards our second 2,000 fuel launch. But in the meantime, we just made $6,000. Let's go spend a bunch of it in the fuel scoop shop and just grab the next fuel scooper. $5,000 right there. I don't yet have enough fuel for the next launch, so I'm continuing to grind. I will be back as soon as I've got 2,000. And I'm back, and this is our last collection of fuel here to get our second 2,000 launch. And I just want to point out some of these floating things that you can see, these kind of spherical things floating around, and looks like they're shooting beams at the fuel. They're actually collecting fuel for their owners, and it's an automated procedure. Those are called bots, fuel bots. And what we want is to get one of those ASAP so that we can stop this boring grind for fuel. And so my strategy here is to get the ability to buy one of those bots as soon as possible. And that's what we're going to do. But we're still grinding this one and only big grind of the whole game, required grind anyway. And so that's our second 2,000K fuel launch. And as soon as that one lands, we will buy a better backpack. I'll be back. Okay, so that launch just ended. We'll deposit our fuel. We'll immediately spend most of the 6,000 we just earned on a backpack, a bigger backpack. And again, it's always a consistent order. First, you upgrade your fuel scooper, then you upgrade your backpack. This is the $5,000 backpack. And then our next launch, once that cash is ours to spend, we will spend it on an upgraded rocket. So I'll come back once we've got enough fuel for our last of 3 2,000 fuel launches. Okay, and we're back, and we deposit this fuel, and now we've got 2,000, so let's put it in. First, I have to put away your scooper. And then we'll do our last of 3 2,000 fuel launches. So we reset as usual, and then launch. And then immediately, I guess we could take a look at our spiffy new rocket. And then right back to grinding for fuel. And I'll point out as this launch begins that there are going to be 2 additional buttons that pop up on the screen. This activate turbo boost for 150 gems and 100 extra fuel for 25 gems. Do not push either of those buttons at any point. These gems are going to be hard to collect, and they are limited in number, and we're going to hoard them like squirrels hoarding nuts before the winter. So don't click those buttons at any point. I'll tell you exactly what I think you should spend your gems on, but I wouldn't spend them on those purchases. Okay, I will come back once this launch ends. Okay, so this launch is about to end. Still grinding for fuel until we can spend that cash. We've already upgraded our fuel scoop and backpack for this round of launches, and now it's time to upgrade the rocket. So we'll grab the next rocket upgrade, which will generate cash even faster. That's the idea. Collect fuel faster and better so that you can get cash faster and better, and then you repeat that process. So here's our $5,000 rocket, and then we'll drop off 650 fuel. Okay, the next set of launches are all 5,000 fuel. So the grinds keep getting longer. I'm sorry about that. It's the best I could come up with, but we are right now grinding for 5,000 fuel, and we're going to do 3 launches at that fuel level. I'll be back as soon as we have 5,000. Okay, and we're back, and we're going to take this 650, put it in. That brings us over 5,000, so we push the 5,000 button. There's our $5,000 rocket that we just purchased. And first we have to reset the old rocket, and then launch the new rocket, and then head right back for the grind. As soon as this launch ends, I'll bring the video back, and now I'm collecting fuel for my second of 3 5,000 fuel launches. I'll be back. Okay, and we're back, still grinding for fuel. This launch about to end. We'll make one quick trip to the pad, put in that fuel. Don't have 5,000 yet, but we do have enough money for the next fuel scooper. So let's go get it, because as soon as we get it, that will immediately have a positive impact on how quickly we can collect fuel as we continue this one required fuel grind. So we grab the Moonling fuel scoop. Let's do it. Okay, and let's take a look and see the impact. Yeah, so now we're going up by 25 fuel every half a second. Very speedy. Plus, this has got to be the cutest fuel scooper in the game. Oh, he's doing a help. And then watch what happens when we start having him work. He shuts his eyes. It's hard work. Good job, little buddy. Keep it up. And we're going to keep it up as we continue grinding for our second of 3 launches of 5,000 fuel. I will be back. Okay, and we're back, having just exceeded the 5,000 fuel threshold. Let's put 5,000 in this same rocket. And then as usual, reset, followed by a launch. This is our second of 3 5,000 fuel launches. So while it's doing its thing, I'm coming back over here, now continuing to grind for the third set of 5,000 fuel. And I'll come back as soon as this flight ends, which will give us the money to purchase a bigger backpack. So I'll be back soon. Okay, and the second 5,000 fuel launch almost complete. We're going to spend this money on a matching backpack. We've already upgraded our fuel scooper this round. Time to get the backpack that goes with it. So we made 15,000. Made 15.6 thousand. We'll spend almost all of it right there. And you can see the backpack that goes with the fuel scooper. Very nice. We are styling for sure. And I will continue grinding for my third of 3 5,000 fuel launches. Okay, and we're back. And with this last bit of fuel, we just get over 5,000. So let's do our third and final 5,000 launch. And the proceeds from this launch will go towards a $15,000 rocket. So things are going to change now. I'm going back for the next fuel grind, the last fuel grind actually, because even though we could continue upgrading fuel scooper and backpack and rocket one at a time, all the way up to the top level of all three of those things, again, once we rank up, they all disappear. And so, in some sense, you want to try to spend the minimum amount of cash on any of these purchases because it's all going to go away. And so, really, what I'm focused on here is to try to minimize the amount of time that we take doing this. And so, I've come up with this plan. I can't guarantee it's minimum amount of time, but I have to think it's pretty close. And so the $15,000 rocket that we're going to buy once this current launch ends is actually the last rocket that we're going to buy during this grind round. And in fact, we're not going to buy any more expensive cash rockets at any point until the very, very end of this playthrough. Just for completeness, we'll buy them all. But we're going to use the 15,000 rocket here, and then it's going to disappear once we rank up, and then we'll go buy a $15,000 rocket again. But we're not going to have to do this particular fuel grind ever again, which is one of the points of this strat. So the magic number that I'm grinding towards, I hate to even admit it, we need 33,000 fuel here. Sorry, don't kill the messenger. 33,000 fuel is enough to get the rocket we're about to purchase up to the highest island in this dimension. And that's going to open the door for us to avoid this kind of grind at any point in the future, all the way through the rest of this game. So this is the biggest grind, and I'm sorry, it's the best plan I could come up with. I think it's pretty close to minimum amount of time, but this is a large 33,000 fuel grind that we're doing. In the meantime, we'll buy our last and final rocket for 15,000. There it is. And teleport to pad, and we'll drop off some fuel. Okay, 3,815. I will come back in a while. I'm going to grab this fuel 1,250 at a time, and hopefully it won't take too long to get us up to that $33,000 magic number, or 33,000 fuel magic number. I'll be back. I'll also point out here that you're welcome to use an auto clicker if you're into that kind of thing. I've got one ready, and I'll push a button on my keyboard to start the auto clicker, so I'm not touching my mouse or my keyboard right now. This auto clicker that I'm using is clicking the window, Roblox window, 10 times a second, which is more often than we can collect fuel anyway, but I'm not doing this kind of grindy thing here. The auto clicker I'm using is called the OP Auto Clicker 3.0. It's free, it works, it gets good reviews. And so it can save your wrist and forearm a little bit, but you can't just go away from the computer for 5 minutes because the backpack fills up pretty quick. And so now one button to turn off the auto clicker, and now I'm teleporting us to the pad, and now I'm running us to the fuel supply, and now I'm pushing the auto clicker start button just like that. And so you're welcome to use it. It's a little bit helpful, but it's not amazing because you can't go away from keyboard or anything like that. Okay, I will be back with 33,000 fuel in fuel storage. Okay, and we're back. A little bit of a grind. Okay, a lot of grind. But we've exceeded the magical 33,000 fuel threshold. So I don't know how long this grind took. The video is shorter than the grind actually took me in real time here because I paused the video a bunch. Maybe 40 minutes, I'm not sure. But I contend that the grind that the average player might take is maybe 20 times more than we're going to take with our playthrough. Or said another way, I think that I've cut out more than 95% of the typical grind that a player would go through if they don't have a good strat to follow. So what are we going to do with this massive quantity of fuel? Well, I will tell you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.